Hello and welcome back to the LFC transfer room. We are here about to discuss that amazing ending to the Wolves v Liverpool game. But first off, I'm here with Anthony, Owen, and Drew. Start with you, Anthony. How you doing?
Doing very well, mate. I feel like I'm a bit out of breath after watching that match, but yeah. How you doing as well?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thanks. It's a absolutely bananas game, so it's hard not to feel good. But Owen, how are you feeling?
Oh, I'm absolutely buzzing. I was not looking forward to coming on here after we just lost, so I'm absolutely over the moon right now.
Yeah, and Drew finally happy with the result. I think it's hard to not be happy with the result.
Yeah, just happy we got the 3 points. Woke up early for West Coast in America, so not my favorite thing to wake up early and watch Liverpool draw a game. So much needed boost in the morning.
Yeah, definitely. Just quickly before we start the discussion, if you are on Twitter, please come over to the YouTube channel. It is under the video on Twitter, and you can get your comments in, interact. Like Samantha here, or Samantha. So come over on YouTube, get your comments in, and appreciate the Divock Origi content that we're going to be giving you. But I will start. Let's just go straight to the main point. How clutch is Divock Origi? I mean, literally the amount of points he's saved for us. He is the definition of a big game player. And to be fair to him, when he come on, he looked so sharp, didn't he, Anthony? I mean, he was probably one of the better displays we'd seen. He was running behind the lines, trying to get the ball. He was holding play up, something that we didn't see that whole half. But do you think maybe it might be a chance to give him a run out next game?
Not necessarily to start, I would say. I mean, depends who we're playing against, to be fair. But he's definitely improved. We're seeing him run a lot more. Like he's finally learned what his legs are meant to be used for. He's looking, like you said, he's looking really sharp. And I think one of the things about Origi is whenever he does play, he's kind of normally thrown into the kind of average team. So like in the cup matches, so he'll play with Minamino. Used to play with Shaqiri, obviously, but when he's playing with the strongest 11, that's when he plays at his best, and we see that. We saw that a couple of seasons ago, and now we're seeing that again.
Yeah, Owen, what were your thoughts on Origi when he come on?
Yeah, I thought he was really, really good, really positive. Like, gave us a different sort of outlet. Which Jota, he's not really a sort of out and out number 9, if you know what I mean. He's more of a sort of false 9 role, quite similar to Firmino, where Origi kind of gives us that out and out sort of tall sort of figure as a number 9. So yeah, really, really good performance from him. And yeah, let's see more from him. We want to see more of those like displays where he is in the game, if you know what I mean, and he's not just running around or walking around and just doing nothing. So yeah, more of that, please.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can speak to everyone. I think we were all pretty confident going into this game. Wolves, they hadn't scored many goals. Yeah, they've had a decent defensive record, but with the form we were on, it really should have been a lot easier than that. But Drew, what were your main takeaways from that? Were Liverpool just poor, or were Wolves, playing really well?
I think Wolves set up defensively really well. I think we all knew how good their defense was, but it just looked really sloppy. Like the first 25 minutes didn't look like we were stringing together too many passes. And the decision making in the final four, like the shots were just really, really poor. Like we had enough opportunities to make that a score line that's closer to the ones where we've had in the past couple weeks. But, Jota's miss, trying to think what else. So there was the ball put across the box for Mo Salah. Mane miscontrolled the ball with his chest and there were so many good opportunities to get the first and second goal. But, luckily Divock came in and, got us the 3 points. Need to win those games regardless of, how well you play.
Yeah, obviously there was a lot of missed opportunities there, especially the Diogo Jota one. He could have picked anywhere else on the net to shoot and it would have went in. That was a bit disappointing, but something I do want to touch on, I saw a lot on social media that people, the Salah chance, a lot of people were calling that as a penalty. Roman Saiz, coming into the back of him. Anthony, do you think it was a penalty or do you think it was the right decision?
I don't think the camera angles were that great on my stream, but I don't think it's a penalty because they're both going to challenge the ball, and The ball's already gone past him. That's when he's fouled him. But Salah should have finished it off, or Mane should have at least. And then Jota, you mentioned his one. How on earth he missed? Yeah, just pick a side and he hit it straight down the middle. But was it a penalty? I think it'd been harsh to give, but no, not for me.
Yeah, I mean, Owen, we have seen them given. Are you agreeing with Anthony, or do you think it was a penalty?
No, I agree with Anthony on that one. Not for me. I would have loved for it to be given, but if that was against Liverpool, I would be absolutely fuming if that was given. Yeah, Jota's chance as well. I think. How did we not score there? It was absolutely unbelievable. If you saw the two players for Wolves, they were stood right next to each other. He hits it in the left corner, anywhere in the left, and it's a goal. So it's just absolutely ridiculous there.
Yeah, and we'll take it to you, Drew. Do you think it was a penalty or correct decision?
I'll join with the boys. I was a bit disappointed though. Mo had a shot towards the end of the game where he got clipped and he decided to stay up. I was like, those are the ones when you get clipped in the box, you go down and get the penalty. But yeah, I'll tag with the boys and say no.
Yeah, and another point I do want to bring up. Obviously, there was no changes from the Southampton game. It was the exact same 11. Do you think that affected our performance a bit because there were words, man? Jordan Henderson, in particular, looked very leggy. It was, going from the game where he got an assist and a goal. He was probably, besides Mane and the forward line, he was probably the standout worst player on the pitch. Do you think Klopp should have, rested him, especially with AC Milan coming up, which is a dead game? But Owen, I'll take that to you. Do you think he should have maybe rotated a bit more, or the correct line?
Initially, I was thinking, he needed to rotate this game. But yeah, when you think about it, the AC Milan game, you can make all the changes then, just get through this game unscathed, no injuries, and then midweek we go play youngsters or whatever. So yeah, I think he did the right thing there. But I think if Klopp made changes and we didn't win the game, then people will be saying, "Oh, why did Klopp make changes after we just beaten Everton, thrashed Everton in the Merseyside derby?" So I think it's a bit hypocritical where people are going, "Oh, we should have made changes or stuff," because it could easily have gone the other way.
Yeah, definitely. Again, just if you are watching on Twitter, please come over to YouTube. You can get your comments in because for some reason Twitter doesn't let you put comments on there. So get over to YouTube. It is on underneath the tweet. But Anthony, again, do you think it was the correct team by Klopp, or maybe look, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain before Thiago come in was playing amazing. He was probably some of the best football we've seen from him. Do you think it was the correct midfield three to go with?
Yeah, I'm still not on the Oxlade-Chamberlain club. I don't think it was amazing the past few matches. I thought he just done the bare minimum, and we were just kind of accepting it. But he's not good enough to start for us. But he's our fourth or fifth choice midfielder. So I think starting Henderson was the best thing to do. Obviously, he didn't look great, but Thiago looked fantastic yet again. By the way, but yeah, I wouldn't have changed the midfield.
Yeah, somebody else who I actually put in I thought that Klopp was going to drop him was Joel Matip. I think against Everton he looked a bit like the weak link, but today it was absolutely unbelievable. It was, probably the best Joel Matip we've seen. Was carrying the ball out through defence, getting into good positions, passing her off. And really just doing everything that you'd think Van Dijk could do. How impressed was you with Joel Matip today, Drew? Do you think he's nailed on that Van Dijk partner role?
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, his intelligence of the game is really phenomenal. His ability on the ball as well, his awareness of where defenders are. He kind of he's not the strongest guy, but he uses his body well to shield the ball from defenders, and he's a huge asset both in defense and bringing the ball up. And he didn't have the best passing range after he made those mazy runs, but he still split some defense, and we know he can make things happen when he does that.
Yeah, and it looks more and more like Thiago really is starting to, find his best. I think, Anthony, you touched on it, how good he was. How impressive was Thiago today, Owen? Do you think he's starting to really settle in now and find his role in the Liverpool squad?
Yeah, definitely. Before his kind of time at the club's just been scathed by injuries, COVID, whatever, suspension. And this time we've seen that Thiago has been absolutely fantastic. These last few games, he's come in quite a difficult run of games, really, where it could have gone a lot different. Oxlade-Chamberlain, kind of, he's done a job, but yeah, I agree with Anthony. He hasn't been absolutely amazing, as like Kris would say, for example. But yeah, definitely, Thiago's been unbelievable these last few games. He's given us a new attacking outlet as well in midfield, which is just something that our midfield just hasn't really offered over the past few years. So it's great to see that happening.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, one player who didn't really impress today was Sadio Mane. Had another very poor game. You know, Diogo Jota was getting in spaces. Same with Salah. You know, admittedly, they didn't play great either, but Mane's just been really sticking out like a sore thumb. This is going to sound crazy, but do you think Divock Origi deserves to start over him in the next Prem game, Anthony, or stick with Mane?
You know what? I didn't think Matty was that bad at all. I thought he was like the most kind of lively one out of the front three. He was taking Semedo one. Salah got pocketed for the whole match.
Oh yeah.
Quick
shout out to Aït-Nouri. He was absolutely unbelievable today.
Oh, yeah.
And again, when he went off is literally when we scored. So yeah, do you know what? I agree, but I don't know. I think maybe I'm watching Mane more because I know how poor he has been. I mean, yeah. I think, Drew, you might agree with me. The front three weren't really at it today. Again, a bit of combination of us being poor and their back five defending incredibly well. So, are you sticking with Mane, Drew, or maybe give Origi a shot after his late goal?
I'd be curious to see the lineup for AC Milan. Like, I know Mo wants to score as many goals as possible, so I'm wondering if you give that as kind of a preview of Divock up front, Mo on the right, and Jota on the left, because I agree with you. Or I thought that Mane's performance, or at least his finishing, was absolutely atrocious. He was giving the ball away, and his decision-making in front of goal was quite poor today. But
yeah. I mean, the Crime Wars got a good point here when that chance fell to Mane. I thought it was game over as well. If we want to be challenging for the title, they're the type of shots that you have to be burying. And obviously with Chelsea dropping points against West Ham, similar to us, a 3-2, this was a must-win game. If we didn't win this game, it was, not must-win, but last time Chelsea dropped points, we dropped points as well. So it is nice to see us getting points there. But I'll go round you. Who do you think was a man of the match today? I'll start with you, Anthony.
I think the obvious one is kind of it's not really obvious. I'll say Thiago. He was everywhere, to be honest. Wolves couldn't get past him. He was fouling when players like Traore he was a menace, wasn't he? Whenever he got past the midfield, he was always there to kind of bring him down. His passing was unbelievable. He almost got 2 assists as well, if I'm not mistaken. Trent should have finished one. But yeah, unbelievable performance again from Thiago.
Yeah, and Drew, your man of the match?
It's hard to look past Divock Origi for me. It just didn't look like the ball was going to hit the back of the net, and then he was the one to get the job done. So I think he earns it for me.
And Owen?
Yeah, I agree with Drew. It's got to be Lord Divock. Got the goal, got the winner, 94th minute. He gets man of the match for sure.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to throw Joel Matip there. I thought Joel Matip was absolutely outstanding today. I think it's probably between them 3 players. They were head and shoulders above, everyone else. I know I was massively impressed with Origi when he come on, as I've said. But just quickly, we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming AC Milan game. Obviously, it's a bit of a dead in the water game. We're already top of the group. Again, though, it is a chance to, finish with 6 wins, something that no English club has ever done. Do you think we rest a few players, like the front 3 and the defence, Anthony, or do you think we, maybe go for that 100% record in the groups?
He'll rest like majority of the squad, I imagine. So But Klopp's always said you get an extra like million or something.
I think it's an
winning
extra
the
2 million that you get for winning a game in the group stage.
So
it's
that
not.
could go towards our transfer budget, I guess.
That's a good joke, Anthony.
So, well, yeah. So I imagine that Origi, Minamino will play, Tsimikas obviously, and then Konate. I'm not sure about Keita if he's back, but yeah, we'll start seeing more rotation in the squad.
Yeah, excited to see Owen Beck line up. Owen, Owen friends. Is it? Oh, it's Owen Beck, isn't it? Yeah, it's his name.
No, I doubt we'll see him, to be honest.
Really?
Tsimikas to play, yeah. I think Klopp will take this game quite serious. I think Nico Williams will play as well on the other side. So yeah, I don't think there'll be a huge amount of, but yeah, actually, I do. I think there'll be quite a few changes, but at the same time, I think it's like 2.5 mil for each win in the Champions League stage. I read quite a while back. Considering the Carabao Cup's like 150k, something like that, it's absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully we can just win the game and get that record sealed.
Yeah, it wasn't actually Owen Beck, it was Tyler Morton I was thinking of. I knew I got the name wrong. Yeah, Drew, do you think, do you agree with the lads, rest likes of Salah, Jota, Van Dijk, maybe just play a bit of a depleted squad against AC Milan?
Yeah, as much as I'd like to see the Divock Origi, Salah, Jota just to test it out, I think you wrap everyone in wool and, put on the... we don't need to win it, so put on the fringe players and let them see what they can do.
Yeah, but I think that's all today, unless anyone else has anything else they want to add? No? Okay, well, if you are new to the channel, please do make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe. We've got some great content coming out. We've also got the Anfield Agenda podcast that you can go and check out, and also a Joe Gomez video by one of our new YouTube members, Louis. So yeah, so if you are on Twitter, come over, subscribe, so you can get notified when we do go live. But Anthony, Owen, Drew, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next time.